Hey guys, and welcome back to another monthly pickup. I'll keep to my word. Just as I said last time, these are both going to include both retro and newer games. I'm going to try to start with the oldest systems and kind of work my way forward. Most of these are Sega related. There's actually one that is not, and I'll kind of get to that as we go. And I guess the other thing I want to mention too is this marks the 1 year anniversary for me. Back on September 30th of 2012 was actually when I posted my first video. So yeah, if you don't believe me, go ahead and you can look back and check that out when I posted my first top 3 pickups, and then from there was the Sonic the Fighters arcade. So I'm kind of excited. Things have kind of grown for me. I've met a lot of cool people here on YouTube through this. The State Line Gamers is growing, which is great. I hope to have some more tournaments out for you guys to kind of watch and kind of enjoy us bickering and teasing each other. We'll see. The last few that we've tried to done, the schedules haven't worked out too well, and just people don't seem to be all into that at the moment, especially with fall coming and everything. And they're on Friday nights, which tend to be or seem to be kind of a busy time for people. So another thing I'm going to try to do is maybe do some guest matches with some YouTubers. I've been trying to email some people and trying to get them interested to see if they'll do some online, just some fun things that we can banter and talk about random games that involve games and kind of see where things go. So, but beyond that, things have been great. So we're just going to dive into things real quick here, and hopefully the glowing stuff behind me doesn't distract you too much. So first we'll start off with actually one of my games on my hit list. I'm surprised I came across that is complete, which is the classic Comix Zone. And here it actually says it includes the bonus CD, which it does. Here's the cartridge is actually in really good condition here, which is kind of cool. Inside, though, we have the original manual and the CD, which I'll just kind of pull this stuff out here. The CD isn't too much. I mean, it's kind of bland. It's just a American recording CD sampler. On the back side, it's got some songs from the game. I kind of think the Sega Tunes collection that I have has more of the actual game music in it, or at least stuff that's more directly inspired by it. Booklet, just your black and white booklet, pretty basic. And then it has your winner's instruction manual for Sega Visions, which you don't see often. I can't say I have picked up many games that have all the original stuff in them. Here's the authentic Sega gear, which had just a short, small magazine. You could order stuff from Sega.com back in the time. They had jerseys and hats, which I really wish, and being that I was maybe 10 years old or so by the time these all came out, that this stuff would have been kind of cool to have. They got a lot of Sonic shirts and everything here, which is kind of cool. So just some basic memorabilia, watches and such, which I'm kind of disappointed. I think the last time I bought anything off of Sega.com was when they had the Sonic Adventure merchandise where they're selling the plushies. They had Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Big the Cat, Amy, and I ended up actually getting Tails for Christmas that year, which was kind of cool. You may have seen him in some of my other videos. I don't think I actually directly pointed him out as being the Sega.com version, but he's in there. Very, very uncommon. I actually haven't seen too many of the Sega.com plushies around, which is kind of strange too, but I guess because they were only for a limited time. I think after Christmas they actually stopped selling them. It was only available for like 2 or 3 months that they were selling them. Anyway, next up is another strange one that I was kind of hoping to get, or never thought I actually would get, but found for a really decent price. Actually, it was only about $30, but Colibri for the 32X, which is kind of a strange game. It's a shooter, but you play as a hummingbird, and a lot of times there's not a direction to tell you where to go or what to do. You pick up these little bubbles that give you power-ups, and you can change them throughout, but the graphics in it are very impressive. The music is really not all that great, surprisingly. But it's another 32X game. I'm trying to get some of those, or as many as I can get. But, I mean, there's 40 in the whole collection. I highly doubt I'm going to get them all. Next up is Wing Commander, which is going into my backlog. I haven't had a chance to actually play this yet. A friend Matt actually picked this up for me. He found for a really good deal. It was complete in the case. Even had the little foam insert inside of it too. So that's kind of cool. So that I'll eventually get to. Moving on from there, we have Dreamcast games. We have Record of Lodoss Wars. Awesome RPG. It's very much like Diablo. It's a top-down RPG. Kind of difficult. You'll do a lot of grinding in this game. I remember playing this when it first came out. A friend of mine actually had it. I borrowed it from him for a while and played. And I was never able to actually find a copy for myself. Where I did, it was really expensive. I happened to find this one online. I also got this with another game. Another strange one, but these still have stickers on them. Gosh, can't believe I left a lot of these on. Shame on me. So anyway, I also have Death Crimson OX, which is a shooter, kind of like House of the Dead. I haven't had a chance to play this one, and I still don't have an actual light gun for my Dreamcast yet. That's kind of on my list to get eventually. I only picked this one up for about $10. I've been eyeing this one at the store for some time, and nobody seemed to pick it up, so I ended up grabbing it. It was the only copy he had, and it was in really good shape. The case wasn't cracked, and it was still in the original Dreamcast cases. The store I usually frequent seems to get a lot of Dreamcast games in that aren't in the original cases. They're just near basic jewel cases, and normally you can tell at the original if they have like the clear spine, and it'll say Dreamcast on it. Much like this one, actually. This is a cheap one. Virtua Striker 2, I just picked this up because it happened to be there. But you can see here on the side, the Dreamcast. That's how you know if it's an original case, if you see that, or if it's clear. Just a basic soccer game. Picked it up because it was like, well, I don't see that one often, and it was really cheap. Another expensive one. This is Draconis, Cult of the Worm, another RPG. It's going in my backlog. It looks really good, actually. The graphics look excellent on it. I haven't had a chance to really pop this in yet. I think it's maybe 3rd or 4th on my list. And eventually, I'm hoping to have some good weekends that I can just sit down and work this. Unfortunately, right now, Tales of Xillia is kind of taking up a lot of my time, and I'm trying to work through that. Last game I actually got for this month, surprisingly, I got for a really good deal. I think I mentioned this in one of my last videos, probably in response to Izzy's episode, but The Last of Us. And I actually ended up picking this up at my local video store. They had it on sale for $39.99, and it included the season pass in it. So for that, it was like a steal to me, because the game is still going for like $54, $55 used, and doesn't include the season pass. So that was really cool to have. And I'll eventually get to that one as well, probably when I finish Tales and the other Dreamcast games that I've got going on here. But really small month this last month, in September anyway. Just not a lot, and I was kind of holding back. Some of my expenses are getting kind of tight, so but I'm always looking for good deals, something I can pick up fairly good price, cheap, or if it's something that I don't see often, I'll try to grab it. So looking forward to some other stuff this month in October. See what comes along. It looks like Dreamcast games are starting to go up in price a little bit more, which is kind of disheartening. I'll kind of keep an eye on that and see what happens with those. But yeah, but that's all I got for now. Nothing else really exciting going on. There is actually this following weekend. Matt and I will be out with, I think Mike's going to be there from Arcade Impossible at the Arcade in downtown Rockford, Illinois. So if you're in the area, come down. There's a lot of video game art, and a lot of artists that are local that are doing some big things art-wise, which is kind of cool. And we'll be hanging around there, just showing some of Greg and Mike's stuff, just chilling. So if you're around, feel free to find us and look us up. So that's it for now, guys, and I'll catch you later.